this is third time lucky at trying to do this video. I keep running out of memory. So if you like to start by sitting on the ground, we are going to be looking at knees. Just a few, I've been asked, somebody who's got problems with their knees. Knees aren't, you don't work your knees just by themselves. We're going to look at a few postures, but you need to do standing poses. It's your legs that support your knees, your hamstrings, your quadriceps, the abductors and adductors. So standing poses are really very good, but we will be looking at the knees and how you can sort of protect them in some of the poses today. You're going to need, if you have it, it'd be absolutely ideal. I've got a piece of rope that I borrowed from Malcolm. Or if you've got a belt, you can fold it in half. You'll find out how we're going to use it in a minute, but we definitely need a belt. What else do I need? You need a block or a book, perhaps, to sit on in a minute. So let's get going and start by lying down on the floor. So start yourself by laying down. Roll yourself down one vertebra at a time till you're flat on the floor. Bring your heels together. Stretch your heels away from your toes towards you. Press down with your hands. Lift your chest up and get those shoulder blades onto the floor. Centre the back of the head and then raise your arms over your head. Tadasana on the floor. And breathe and stretch. Stretch away with your heels, stretch away with your fingers. Take a couple of breaths. And then bring the arms back over by your side. So taking hold of your belt or rope, you can use the rope to do this as well. You're going to take hold of the belt or rope you've got to use. Bend your right knee onto your chest, lasso the foot. Place the belt round near the ball of the foot. So you're going to stretch the hamstrings with this exercise on this first one. You're going to stretch the adductor and abductor muscles. So you have to decide where you are at the moment with your hamstrings. So mine are quite, obviously, for all the practice I have, are quite long and loose. But if you've got very tight hamstrings, a straight leg might only bring you to here. So let's assume you've only got as far as here with a straight leg and you can really feel those hamstrings working hard. Straight arms, straight legs, you're holding onto the belt. So you're drawing that belt towards you, so you're stretching those toes towards you, the heel away from you, increasing the stretch on your calf muscle and your hamstrings. So once you're there, if you wait a moment, see if you can then start to bring the leg more upright and the leg towards your chest. So see where you can come to. I'll assume you're a beginner and you're probably not at 90 degrees yet and you're about here. That's just fine. That's where you are today. But the important thing is to keep that leg straight. And you're going to take the belt into your right hand, so straight arm, straight leg, straight piece of belt. And then you're going to take the left hand onto the floor, shoulder height, palm down, and the foot's in the way. So you're going to twist your foot, rotate the foot so the toes go out, heel comes in. So we've rotated the hip joint. And then you're going to start to take the leg out to the side. Straight arm, straight leg. You're going to keep the left leg on the floor with the foot upright. So see where it comes to. You should now be feeling the stretch on the inner thigh. And then inhale brings you back up. Swap hands with the belt, so straight on. So again, doesn't matter where you are, but keep that leg straight. And then you're going to take the leg across your body. Go carefully, you will feel a big stretch. Keeping the left leg still upright, toes pointing to the ceiling, and take the other leg across your body. So you should be feeling the stretch all across here. And then bringing the leg back up again, and release. Take the leg back to the floor, join your heels, so back in that nice straight line. Bend your left leg onto your chest, lasso the foot, round the ball of the foot. Explore and find out your edge, your maximum with that leg straight. And once you're there, you take a couple of breaths. And then maybe see if you can nibble another quarter of an inch towards your head. And then take the belt into your left hand. Take your right hand onto the floor, shoulder height. And then turn the foot and take the leg out to the side. Keeping that right foot pointing towards the ceiling. Keep the legs strong, the one that's on the ground. Both legs are straight and strong. And then bringing the leg back up again. Swap hands with the belt. Take the left hand to the floor. And then slowly take that leg across your body. And bringing the leg back up again. Release the foot. Put the belt to one side now. Bring your heels together. Take that nice stretch over the head again with the arms. Oh, lovely big stretch. And then you're going to bring your arms back over by your side. And then you're going to bend your knees, put your feet flat on the floor. Then you're going to bend your knees up towards your chest and hold on just below your knees, and then roll to sit up. Nice and easy. And so we're going to do a couple of seated poses now. So this is where the rope comes in very handy, and if you haven't got a rope, you'll need to double up on the belt, or even 4 times, depends on your knees. Over the years I've had knee injuries, and I found ropes are very, very useful to help you to maintain the space at the backs of the knees. We don't need the condylus of the knee to jam down, we need to create space. That's what we're doing a lot of the time in yoga, making space inside the body. So if you've got your block or book ready, the first pose we're going to do is Trianga Mukha Hayaka Pada Paschimottanasana. And it's a big mouthful, and just watch and look and see what I'm going to do. So in this one, you start in Dandasana, so the legs are straight out in front of you. And you're going to, shall I mirror image for you? Yes. I'm going to turn my right leg back so that I'm sitting now between my heel, or down on by the side of my heel. Now for lots of people, this is a really tight knee bend and is not advisable if you've got a bad knee. However, if you've got the rope, if you take the rope and place it behind the knee, hold on to it as you take the knee back, you'll find it a lot more comfortable on your knees. The other thing is, if you can't sit square down in between your feet, and I'm leaning to one side, I always take a block, pop it under the other hip, so popping that underneath the left hip, and that's now reasonably comfortable. That's it, we're good.
I couldn't find a comfortable wife. Leicester family saga.
And then raise the arms up into the air.
Library. You can buy
Stretching
it at
up.
amazon.co.uk.
Hello, we seem to have got Alexa talking to us. And then exhale as you come forward. So now you'll start to feel the stretch on your hamstrings, wherever you can come to. So it might be just your calf muscle. That leg has to stay straight. It's not important where you come to. The important thing is the straight leg. Stretching out those hamstrings at the back of your leg. And inhale to bring yourself back up again. Release the leg. And then move the book to the other side. Take the rope, take it behind the left knee this time. Holding on to it, and then wind the leg back and stretch the right leg out in front of you. So the book helps us to keep the pelvis nice and square when we do this. Otherwise, I tend to roll to the straight leg side. It's quite a difficult pose. And the next move is to raise the arms up into the air, stretch the arms up, hinge from the hips and come forward, wherever you come to. So let's assume you've made it to your shins. So you just keep the chest lifted and breathe. And feel the stretches happening in that straight leg. inhale to bring yourself up. Straighten out the left leg and you can come off the block. The blocks are very useful. If your hamstrings are tight, it will impact on your pelvis. So some people, when they're sitting down, they're like that. Doesn't do you any favours. So in order to get the spine to lift, if you sit on a block, the spine lifts very nicely. We're all different, and it's important that you pay attention to your body to see if you need that lift. So always have a block handy. It's always useful to have one there. It's just to help you to maintain a much better posture, because yoga is all about your posture. If we change the shape of our spine, we change lots of things in the body. So the next pose you're going to do, with or without sitting on a block, is called a Janu Shishasana. And Janu Shishasana, now we open the leg out to the side. So again, using the rope, I'll mirror image for you again, so great long rope. We're going to lasso round the back of the right leg again, and holding on to it. So you can draw the leg up with the belt, and then you're going to take the foot. Let's move the leg out to the side slightly so you can see what you're going to do. So you can take your leg out to a 45-degree angle, and then you're going to take hold of the foot, and then you're going to bring it in. So you're trying to bring it in as high up into the groin of the left leg as you can, and then let go of the rope. Now, if you've got very stiff hips, it might be that you're here and it won't go down. So once you've got the rope and the space behind the knee, you can then lean back and see if that knee will go down. And sometimes this might be as far as you need to go at this moment in time. But if you can then sit yourself back upright again, then we can move on. We want to then turn towards this straight leg. So if you take your hand to the outside of the shin, this might be as far as you can go. We're looking to turn the body to be lining up with this straight leg. So it's a bit of a twist to the abdomen, but it also stretches your hamstrings as well. So then you can cross the wrists, and maybe you'll stay here. If not, maybe you can hold your foot. And if you can hold your foot, you change the cross, the hands, so they're straight again. And then it's an inhale, exhale. And again, you'll decide how much you can lower down. Your hamstrings will tell you, but the important thing is don't let that knee bend. Don't let it bend. And then inhale to come up. We're not holding poses at all. I just want to give you a feel of how you can use poses and protect your knees at the same time. So release that side. Also, you think about your body and you'll find it works differently one side to the other. One hip might be stiffer than the other. One knee might be more comfortable than the other. Just observe. So lassoing now the left knee. Take the right leg out 45-degree angle, and then lift up the left leg. Bring the left foot as close into the right groin as you can. And then again, decide whether you need to lay back to help that leg to go down to the floor. And then if you can, sitting back up again. And then again, turn towards the leg. Take your hand to the outside of the shin and to the inside. So feel that nice twist of the body. And then if you can, you slide your hands down towards your feet. And then if you manage to grab your feet, then you can reverse the hands. So remember, don't let the knee bend. And then inhale, exhale, and then control the stretch that you have as you bring your head down. So my big theme is, don't let the knee bend. Inhale brings you all the way back up again. And release. So you're going to do a bridge pose now. So bridge, you're going to be laying on the floor, bent knees, feet flat on the floor, close to your hips, and then press down with your hands, get the shoulder blades down onto the floor, centre of the back of the head. So going to go up into this pose, you're going to exhale, press your lower back into the floor, scoop your tailbone up, and up you go. So don't let the knees move or track out, they have to stay in line. Don't let the feet move, they have to stay parallel. And exhale as you lower down, one vertebra at a time, nice and slow, all the way to the floor. And then scooping up again, pressing into the floor, scoop your back up you go. Keep pressing down with the heels, and the ball of the big foot, big toe. Down you go again, back to the floor. So third time, press your lower back into the floor, scoop the tailbone up, go as high as you can. Keep going, pressing up higher and higher. And then you're going to bring your knees towards each other, pulsing them for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Push up as high as you can, and then coming all the way down to the floor. One vertebra at a time. Yes. And then bend your knees onto your chest, hold onto the backs of your thighs to sit you up. So what you're going to do now is we're going to do a couple of standing poses which strengthen your legs, or work on, give you some idea of what you're doing with your legs. And we're going to look at Tadasana, which is your standing pose. So if you've got a book, this is quite a heavy one, you can stand, your feet are slightly apart, and you place the book, actually it's not very wide, you place the book, or maybe you haven't got fat thighs, place the book at the top of your thighs, and then what I'd like you to do is squeeze your thighs towards each other, lift the kneecaps up, go on squeezing the thighs, lift your chest, stretch your fingers towards the floor, head level, eyes level, breathe. So I'm wondering if we could do that with the book, if we did Utkatasana, which is an awkward pose, which is the one where it's like sitting in a chair but the chair's not there. So let's see what happens. Bend your knees, keep squeezing with the block, and lift your arms up. So you lift your chest, imaginary chair sitting there, chest is lifted, squeeze. Actually, if you bring it down nearer towards your knees maybe. Oh no, the book really hurts. Just squeeze. And breathe. And inhale, come all the way back up again. Exhaling, lower the arms. Right, if you've got a wall, again it's like having a chair there, and you have your feet in front of you on the wall. Now what you're going to do is take your back to the wall and then slide your bottom down the wall until those feet or the legs are at that nice 90-degree angle. And you just sit there and hum to yourself for about 5 minutes or so you can really feel these quadriceps starting to work then. So that's that nice imaginary chair. Ooh, one you can play with. And then coming up. So we really are working these legs to strengthen all these muscles around the knee. The next one's going to be Virabhadrasana, where we do a standing pose. So if you've got the wall, this maybe might be helpful to you if you're a bit of a beginner. It helps. We want to square the hips. So if we take the heel up a skirting board, can be done without. But if you've got a skirting board, or if you've got a small book handy, you could do it with your heel on a book. Yeah. So we just have to be a bit inventive, don't we? So if you've got your left heel on the skirting board, what I'd like you to do is then you're going to step forward, nice long way, and bend that front leg. So again, we're looking for that angle of 45 degrees. So the knee is directly above the ankle. So you're not putting any stress or strain on the knee. If it goes like that. So if it goes beyond the ankle towards the toes, I'm putting an awful lot of stress on the knee. So that's where it comes important, in the position of the knee when you're doing any standing poses. So that's what I want you to get used to in this one. So just take your hands on your waist. We won't do the full pose, we'll just do it working that leg. So you can also now feel what's happening to the back leg. Have you allowed your back knee to bend? Make sure it's straight. So push that heel into the skirting board so that the thigh engages. And then keeping that straight from that back leg, straighten the front one and bend it. Straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. One more. Straighten and bend. And then step those feet together. So let's do the other leg. Watch the differences. So it's going to be right heel on the wall and a nice big step forward. Keep going with that left leg. Hands on your hips. Establish the back leg. So press the heel into the skirting board. Engage the thighs. Straight leg. Then bend the front one. Check to see that your knee's directly over the top of that ankle. It's not tracking in, it's directly over the ankle. Then lifting your chest. And then straighten the front leg and bend. All the while resisting with that back leg. Straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. And straighten and step your feet together. Virabhadrasana 2 we'll do actually in away from the wall. So stand with your feet together. I'll just walk you in quickly rather than do it. We'll just take your feet wide apart. The distance you want to start to work to eventually is so that your wrists are over your ankles. So it might be you might be like this at the moment. So eventually you start to work so those wrists are over the ankles. And that's the correct distance. Left foot turns in, so I'll mirror image for you. So you spin on the heel to bring the toes in. The other one, you come up on the toes and bring the heel round so that it lines up with the instep of the back leg. And then you're going to, from there, you're going to bend the front knee. So as you bend the front knee, go slow. And as you do that, I'd like you to think that inner knee has to go to the little toe side of the foot. So you're opening out that hip on that side. It's not tracking in. So resist with the back leg, nice strong back leg. I'm going to adjust a little bit on mine. So you're looking for that right angle again. So it's the outer edge of the front foot and the ball of the big toe. Fix it down to the floor. And the same with the back foot. And then once you're there, you can look along the fingers of the front hand and breathe. And then inhaling as you straighten the front leg, turn the feet to the front, keep your arms up so you can work the arms as well. And then the other side, so right foot turns in, up on the heel, and then turn the left foot out. So hips are facing front, work the back leg, and then you're going to bend the left leg, and as you do, I need to go a bit wider, bend the left leg and take the inner knee, push it out towards the little toe side of the foot, so opening up the hip. I need to go even wider. Look for the right angle, work the back leg, the outer edge of the back foot, and then look along the front hand. And then straighten the front leg, turn the feet to the front, lower the arms and step your feet together. Hey. So the last one, you might, depends how sensitive your knees are. You can have a blanket. This one, you're going to be kneeling in front of the wall. And And you're going to take your right foot forward and the left foot is going to go up the wall. Somewhere there. I need to be a little bit nearer the wall. The top of the left foot goes onto the wall. So I'm going to slide my foot a bit more. That's it. And then from there, see if you can bring yourself up. If it's too much on your knee still, don't do this. But if you've been working with the rope, if it's still comfortable, that's fine. And you can increase the stretch by taking your bottom further back towards the wall. So you can decide how much, you can see how much of a stretch you impose on that leg. Let's try on the other side. So bringing that foot down. And then get the other foot onto the wall and the left leg will come forward. So again, you decide. So you might want to be leaning forward so you're not taking too much weight on it or pressure. But if you want to, you can start to push back. So you see, so push your hips back towards the wall. And release and coming down. So the last pose is a twist. I'm including it in the twist because very often people who've got funny knees finish up with sciatica and things like that. So a twist is a really nice way to finish. So sitting, take your block, it's the easiest, and sit on it. Stretch your legs out. So ease those knees that we've just been stretching. And then bend your knees and put your feet flat on the floor. Now, when I'm doing twist, I always get my left and rights muddled. So I'm not going to mirror image. I'm going to say you take your left leg and you place your foot underneath the right and you take the heel of the foot round the outside of the block. Okay? We're good. And then you're going to take this leg and you're going to step it across. Now, if you still have issues with knees, again, because it's a tight knee bend, you can always take the belt behind the back of the knee. Belt's long enough, you can take it through both knees if you want to. You can really tie yourself in knots. Anyway, so you decide your body, and then when you're there, we're going to take this arm around the leg. So the same arm, same leg's going to go round, and you're going to take your hand behind you. Head level, eyes level. And release. Then we're going to go to the opposite direction. So it's going to be the left hand wraps right around the front of the leg. So feel the difference. And then take the hand round behind you. Now sometimes you'll find that this sitting bones become light. You've got to really sit down on both sitting bones when you do a twist. So really sit down on the right sitting bone and turn. Feel the abdomen turn. And release. So let's swap sides. So feet flat on the floor. This time it's going to be the right leg that goes onto the floor. So if you need to, use your rope behind the knee. Bring the foot down and hook round the block, the book. So we've got that nice space and made the knee nice and comfortable. And then stepping over with the left leg. So we're going to take the same hand to begin with. So wrap that round the knee and turn. So you're turning to your right. Make sure the left sitting bone's still on the floor, it hasn't become light. And release. Now go the opposite way, so you're going to take the right arm round the knee and take the left hand round behind you. So as you draw your knee across you, keep sitting down with that left sitting bone. Feel a nice twist in the abdomen. unravel yourself. So stay sitting on there. So see if you can sit cross-legged. So just gently crossing your legs. It doesn't have to be a tight cross. You can have your legs, your feet well away from you. But I think I'd rather be on the mat. That feels a bit hard if I take my feet away from me. So comfortable seated cross-legged position. So just close your eyes and take a moment to consider how you feel. How do your knees feel? And then opening your eyes, bring your hands together in front of your chest. Namaste. So remember, knees aren't in isolation. Do all the standing poses, but be careful and be wary of your knees. Use props on your knees whenever you need to for the seated ones. But the standing poses will strengthen all these muscles around the knees for you. What else do I need to tell you about knees? Just take care of them.